anyone define your limits.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Rod Gaston and welcome to Impact TCG, where we cover all things Disney Lorcana. And today, you know, I got more sweet and spicy sauce for you. My take on Amber Steel Musketeers. Now, I really love the Musketeer cards, and I want them to be good so freaking bad. And you may have seen my previous video on this deck a few months back during Rise of the Floodborn, and I did my best to make this deck as good as I could to include the Musketeer cards, but I think now is a lot better with the cards from Into the Inklings. So this is my second attempt, my second take on the deck. I'm still in the very early testing stages of this deck, but it's so fun and it actually surprised me of how it could compete. Now, this might not be a deck that you want to take to a challenger event or a set championships, but you can definitely take this deck to your locals, wreak some havoc, if not even win that bad boy. Now, look at this deck list here. We've made a few changes from the previous one, and it's actually working out pretty well for us. The primary curve that you want to see if you're going first with this deck is playing a Pluto turn 1, a Lantern turn 2, or a Dock, and then on turn 3 being able to drop one of your 5 drops, such as your Beast or your Robin Hood. This is very powerful, being able to get a 5 cost character on the field this early in the game. And this will allow you to be able to sing your Whole New World, sing your Grab Your Sword, sing your Zeuses, and even sing your Bare Necessities late game, like I like to do against my Ruby matchups, to get that Be Prepared or something like that out of my opponent's hands. This deck actually has a really good matchup against a lot of other meta decks, just like Amber Steel, Emerald Steel, and Emerald Amethyst as well. Now, I've spent some time trying to optimize this. Now, obviously, this is not the most optimized Amber Steel list that you want to play. This is just my take on how to make Musketeers good. And there are even some changes that I want to make in this list, such as maybe adding some Benjas or adding Rapunzels into this list to help with the draw power. Right now, I'm playing the Rise of the Titans over the Benja just to kind of help me be able to face McDuck Manors and Queen's Castles, because our characters, they're not, you know, super strong strength wise, so we gotta have some extra ways to get rid of some of those heavy bodied locations. But I just actually love what the Musketeers bring to this deck. It's different, it's not super fast. You're hardly ever going to get all 3 of them on the field at the same time, but they do play a role to support your other characters and support themselves. Now, you're going to see here in some gameplay. Let's check it out right now. Alright, starting with game number 1 versus Emerald Steel. Hey guys, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you like the content that we're putting out here. But I go ahead and I try to get these high cost uninkables out of my hand, like Grab Your Swords. And I know he's playing Emerald Steel, so he's playing those Ursulas to knock those songs out of my hand. I go ahead and I ink. Don't have a turn 1 play right here, but that's okay. I got the Mr. Smee for next turn. They play a Robin Hood of their own for their turn 1. And I go ahead and I ink the extra Dock in my hand and indeed play that Mr. Smee to the board. Mr. Smee is just so freaking good. It was just no way I couldn't include him in a deck like this. I mean, if you're playing Steel, you gotta play him. Okay, so they play the Ursula, and they hit the Grab Your Swords that I did end up drawing into. That's all right. We go ahead and play a Dock of our own to start that, you know, that semblance of a ramp. You know, not quite like Sapphires, but he does represent early ink in my Captain Hook right there. And I'm trying to decide right here if I want to play the Donald Duck and be patient, or just go ahead and play the Beast. And I was like, forget it. Go ahead and play the Beast. If they have a Let the Storm Rage on, you know, it's fine. It is what it is. They're going to be able to play it twice, but it still won't kill him. So that's the good thing. But Beast is just so good. Playing him even on turn 4. I mean, that's how Sapphire, usually does it anyway. When they're playing with steel, they play that beast out by turn 4, and he just creates so much immense value. Now right here, they kind of sort of take the advantage, but I am able to draw my 2 off of the beast, and you're gonna see here how I start to create a comeback to get myself back into the game. I am up in lore, but they were able to play 2 cards down in 1 turn. I play my bodyguard body out there, my Donald Duck Musketeer, baby. He's gonna protect the beast for now. I highly doubt that he challenges into the Donald Duck, and I figured that he wouldn't, so I felt pretty confident, and I got so lucky right here. I ripped the freaking grab your swords. I played the Tinkerbell, and I seen the grab your swords with the beast, wiping the whole board, and now all of a sudden the tides have turned. He's only got 2 cards going into his next turn. He has to hard cast the whole new world, completely throwing him off tempo, and I still get to draw 2 off the beast. Now you're gonna see what this deck can really do, and this is going against the best deck, or what most consider the best deck in the format right here. This Emerald Steel is nothing to scoff at. But I go ahead and kind of spam the board a little bit more, playing my Mickey bodyguard down. Now he's gonna give the Donald +1 strength, and he's gonna get +1 strength himself on these big willpower bodies. Now he does activate grab your swords, pretty good there, but he had to hard cast it, doesn't get a lot of value out of it, and he has to sacrifice his Robin Hood. Not sure if I would have done that, but the Mickey stays, and you see my turn comes back around. I play the Goofy, and I heal the freaking Donald and the Mickey. It works so well together once you get this off. Like I said, you don't get all 3 of them on the field at the same time often, but you can pretty much see how they're helping control the board themselves, and I'm pretty much going to win the game here on my next turn, because there's no way that he can completely wipe the board due to these high willpower Musketeers. Now going into game number 2 against Emerald Amethyst, and that's that tempo deck that, you know, the mulligan in this matchup really matters. But I do open up with the grab your swords and a 5-cost character in the beast, so I know at some point I'm going to want to sing this. Now I decide to just keep everything here. Kind of an awkward hand. I probably should have threw back the whole new world, but I go ahead, and since I'm going first, I am playing that Pluto out. My opponent needs to go, plays the Maleficent. That's okay. You know, we're gonna get rid of that bad boy. Just wait on it. I draw into another Robin Hood. Easy ink choice right here. No reason to keep that in hand. But we're gonna play the Lantern, and we're gonna use the Lantern to play another Robin Hood in my hand for free. Now this is how you set the board up to play your beast next turn. And we're gonna sing that grab your swords, because he's probably gonna, you know, build some sort of a board here within the next couple of turns. So that grab your swords is gonna easily just hand us the game. Like, we're gonna gain so much advantage off of it, and you're gonna see here. And me knowing I'm not playing against any steel, not playing against any ruby, I know that they can't damage my beast right here, especially when he's ready. So I feel really safe. Now they do end up hitting the grab your swords out of my hand, which, you know, I'm actually okay with, because I'm still able to get the 2 draw off of the beast. But I go ahead and I shift my Robin Hood, and I swing into the Madam M snake. No problem there for me, because I'm still gaining 2 lore. Now that snake's kind of strong. It does 3 damage, so that's, you know, more damage than I'd like on the Robin Hood. But I debate really hard right there if I want to use the whole new world. But me knowing that I have some sort of a board presence here, I feel comfortable doing so. And just in case he decides to Mother Knows Best my beast back to my hand, I just go ahead and just use it. And he does summon the fox, bouncing the Ursula back. But I get my draw off of the dying Robin Hood. opponent goes ahead and he inks the goat, and he does decide to quest with his Maleficent, which I'm totally fine with. I got the Captain Hook on board. I can run that over easily. I have an array of options. I'm going to go ahead and play the Tinkerbell here. That's actually the easier decision, just to get rid of it right there and not have to swing into it. But I quest and I tie the game up at 5. We're rocking and rolling here. We've got complete control. Now he can spam the board out, you know, with his low cost characters, but you know, with only 4 ink, it's only so much that he's going to be able to do. We have so freaking much advantage right now. It's not a lot he's going to be able to do. He does, you know, kind of swings it a little bit with the Kick, Cloud Kicker Bounce. Very good card out of the set. Yep, he's going to activate the Ursula again. But I really don't care what he hits. You know, I just care about my characters right now, and I got a lot of them, and they're pretty darn big too. As you can see here, we've got an array of options. We do decide to go ahead with the Donald Duck and the Mr. Smee on board. And we're just going to quest and pass back to my opponent and just say, get rid of my board, you know. And there's the Captain Hook, just, you know, for more pressure. I know they're not playing cards like Grab Your Swords. They're not playing any mass removal. The only, like, real removal that they have, you know, in this ink combination is the Yzma. But that shuffles back and I get to draw 2, so I mean, that's okay. Plays the Tinkerbell out. I haven't seen this in a little minute. That evasive Tinkerbell is still pretty good though. Very good in set 1. He hits the whole new world out with his 2nd Ursula Deceiver. And I draw my 2 more off of Beast. Getting so much freaking value off Beast. I play the Tinkerbell, does 1 damage to all of them. And of course, I'm gonna get to do 2 more, getting rid of that evasive, and we're just gonna, man, just quest on up, swing into the Kick, Cloud Kicker, and they see the writing on the wall there. Now you see, going into the last matchup, game number 3 here, Ruby Amethyst. This is easily this deck's toughest matchup. My goodness, I did my best here, but this is actually a really good game. Shout out to BHustle84 on Pixelborn for piloting this deck so well. Ruby just has a very, you know, heavy top end of cards, and the Madame Medusa is just really good against this deck. You know, most of our characters are 3 or less strength, so she can just say bye-bye to whoever she wants, you know, besides from Tinkerbell. But we managed to both play a card out within the first 2 turns. I played my Lantern out with the Pluto. I got the combo that I want, the curve that I want. So I'm actually feeling pretty good. He plays the Maleficent. He draws his card, and he goes ahead and he quests with the Queen. And I end up drawing into the dock, and tough time trying to decide on if I want to keep both of the Bare Necessities, because I know late game against, you know, Ruby, we want to be able to hit those Be Prepared out so they don't wipe our board, because we do tend to kind of go a little wide with this deck. I play out the Donald Duck in defense mode. Right here is when I realized I probably just should have played the Beast, but I kind of wanted to try to be patient, which I will realize towards the end of this that was probably a very big mistake, but I still felt pretty good about what I was doing, and I managed to play the Tinkerbell out early to kind of help control the board. We used the Donald to run into the Maleficent to kind of even things out. They've got so many more cards than us in hand, but I do have some little control of the board. I'm actually happy right here that he plays a rabbit and not a freaking Maui. Maui would not have been good for me this turn. Turn does come back around to me, and now I have 2 beasts, so it's like, yeah, I definitely should have played the beast earlier. But Tinkerbell, you know, does her job. She takes out 2 cards. So once again, I'm feeling good, but I know right here I do want to get that beast out right here, right now. Don't want to waste any more time. we want to start drawing, but you're going to see why you just got to play smart against Ruby when you're playing a deck like this. I didn't want to get rid of that other Bare Necessities, but I had to ink it. You know, we just have to. And you see right here, they go ahead and they play the Madame Medusa. They get rid of the beast. You know, all the more reason why I should have played that beast earlier, because I've actually would have been able to get at least a draw out of that one, and I could have played the second one. I mean, it's easy to say in hindsight, but you know, moving forward, I know how to play against Ruby Amethyst with this deck in particular a lot better. You know, I did get a chance to test against it a few times and was able to pick up a few wins, but easily the toughest matchup. Luckily, I draw into another beast. Doesn't really help me too much. I do have control of the board, but my opponent is getting up to 7, so I'm pretty much just holding my breath right here. I do have the whole new world, but if I have to hard cast this thing, it's just going to throw me way off tempo, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm just hoping and praying, oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't have her be prepared right here. But he still has a lot of good cards. I mean, that's all Ruby Amethyst plays is good cards, good cards. And he plays his rabbit, he draws him some more cards. And I'm just looking across with my one little card in hand, and he bounces it and plays the fox just to run into the duck and allowing him to get rid of my Tinkerbell with his Madame Medusa. So I go ahead and I knock the Queen's Castle out of his hand with my third Bare Necessities. I think I want to bump Bare Necessities up to 4 after, you know, my first initial testing stages. I kind of luck up and I play a Donald Duck to kind of protect the beast and the Pluto, but it's just not a whole lot that I can do right here. I probably should have activated the whole new world here just to kind of get cards back in my hand for me to keep playing, but I don't do that, and I'm probably turn comes back around and he plays his rabbits, just continues to draw cards. Nothing I can do about that right now, and I just keep drawing into these ones right here. 2 1-drops off of beast. Not good going against Ruby Amethyst late game like this. These cards virtually do nothing for me right now, and it's putting me in a very, very hard decision or hard position. I ink the Captain Hook and I play the Robin Hood, and I just say screw it. Let's go ahead and cast this whole new world. I don't hit anything significant out of his hand. No Be Prepared there. No Madame Medusas. No Mauis. So I'm just like shaking my head like, man, I can't catch a break right here. But we do have a fresh hand. We do have 5 ink. And we got some good cards. It's just a matter of, you know, how are they going to respond. And late game like this with 8 ink, about to be 9 ink. It's a lot that Ruby Amethyst can do. So, and there's the second Madame Medusa. Gonna easily get rid of the one card that I want to keep, and that's the Beast. Getting rid of Sad Beast makes me sad. He ends up questing with the rabbit and bouncing the rabbit with the fox. So now he has another rush character. Just gonna continue to take my cards out. Bye bye Pluto. And just like that, the tides have really taken a turn. I have 6 ink, I have a lantern, so there are some things that I can do, but I'm not feeling great. I go ahead and I shift the Robin Hood, and it's playing against the bounce package just makes it so hard sometimes to decide, okay, what should I take out? Theoretically, I probably should have taken out the rabbit just to go ahead and get it out of rotation, because they're going to get the draw off of it anyway. And I play another Donald Duck just to kind of protect my Robin Hood and the Mr. Smee. But I know that they are about to have 10 ink. They're probably got Mauis now. You know, we just revamped their hand with the whole new world. You know, yep, there's the Maui. Coming down to ruin my day with that big fish hook. And another rabbit, draw more cards. I mean, it's just a consistent machine, even in this format. Ruby Amethyst is just so good. And swinging into the with the Mana Medusa, I do get to draw a card, but it's not a card that I really need right now. I already have two Along Came Zeus. I draw into another one, and then I draw a whole new world. Just unlucky right here. Like, I'm even up in lore. My hand size is not bad, but I just don't have the cards that I need in this situation to really keep control, or take back control rather. Even though I'm up in lore, I'm definitely not in control at this moment. And the bounce package doing its work, and he quests with the rabbit and passes back to me. Now I can take out this rabbit, and I do, and just to help Tinkerbell become a 2-for-1 and go ahead and take out that Maui. He is going to get the draw off of the rabbit. That's okay, not really. I draw into a lantern for the turn, just not good. Like, nothing in my hand right now is just, you know, good. And they've got so many cards in hand. I can use these Zeuses to kind of get rid of some cards, but I just wasn't sure how much that was going to help me in this situation. In hindsight, I probably should have just double Zeused and inked the Mickey. And for the third time, he plays out his Mana Medusa, and she easily takes out Mickey Mouse, being only at 3 strength with his ability. Not good for me. And another Maui as well. I mean, he's at 12 ink. It's pretty much a snowball effect at this point. Not a whole lot I can do. I hard cast 2 Along Came Zeuses just to clean the board up as much as I can, but it's really not gonna matter. Are you gonna see the turn go back to him, and he's pretty much just gonna revamp. I mean, 12 ink, there's nothing in this deck that he can't play, and he's playing 3, you know, cards a turn at this point. Yep. Plays another Maui and another Maleficent. Also drawing him a card. And he plays a snake. Bouncing the Maleficent. Playing it again, drawing another card. It's too good. Yep, and you see at that point, I go ahead and I concede the game. You can see Ruby Amethyst is such a freaking hard matchup. But if you play your cards right, you mulligan correctly, you can win that matchup. And I have won some, but I've lost that matchup more than I have won it. But this Musketeer deck has a really good matchup against the other ink combinations. I mean, it's a good mid-range deck. It can do a little bit of everything. Not really like an aggro type of deck, but it can keep up with aggro. It has the cards to compete with aggro and to control the board against those types of decks. You know, obviously, like I said before, not the most optimized Amber Steel deck that you want to play, but still a deck that you can take to your league, wreak havoc, and probably even win that bad boy. And I'm going to be trying that myself. Can't wait. But in the meantime, you know, we got a lot of testing to do. We got set championships coming up. We got challenger events coming up, which I didn't get a ticket to a challenger event. But stay tuned. I got news for that, for what the channel is going to be doing for the challenger event. Remember, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Hit that notification button so you don't miss nothing. And lastly, whatever you do, wherever you go, always make an impact. See you on the next one.